everybody watch my mommy's video.
Hey guys, this is the makeup artist J Rooks back again to show you guys another tutorial, and this is an ombre inspired look. I have the ombre eyes with the ombre lip going on, so if you guys just stay tuned, I will show you in detail how I created this look, and I will have all the products in the link below, in the post below, in the comment. I don't know. Comment, guys. Tell me what you think, and I hope that you stay for the entire video. Enjoy. Hey, so you guys, I started by prep and priming with Max Prep and Prime. Just hydrated my face. You want to go ahead and moisturize all that in. And I'm getting into my brows. As you see, I created a higher arch, so they are a little thin, but however, I'm just going to go in with my mattifying primer and set my eyebrows so that they can stay in place and last longer. The mattifying primer helps to rid the oils out when you begin to sweat or your makeup begin to produce oil. So I'm just going to take my spoolie and I'm brushing them up and over in the original arch that it's in. And I'm going to use a brownie, the color dark brownie, and by Beauty Bakery pot. It's a brow gel. And it goes on very creamy, but it dries pretty matte, so I like that a lot. I'm using a flat angle eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to go follow the strokes of my natural brow. And this is outlining it. I like to go a little deeper with the outline. As you see, I'm following the natural arch, and I'm bringing it all the way out a little past my natural brow. And this gel really goes a long way. I'm not even going to dip back in there. I'm just sort of using what's on my brush to outline the top and really basically to fill it in. This is a dark gel, so you kind of want to go as light as you can, but this would be a dramatic brow, but it does get the job done. So I love using this, as well as like Anastasia Beverly Hills in the color Ebony. It's like kind of a dupe for that for me, but it's much more creamier and it doesn't dry out as quick as Anastasia does. So all that there is just the overage of what's left on the brush. However, I'm going to clean it up with the spoolie, and I think I'm going to go in a little bit to sharpen up the tail of the brow because it's looking a little light. So to deepen it, I did go back in with a little more gel, and you see I messed up on that arch a little bit, but it's okay because as makeup artists, we will make it work and we would get it together, honey. So I could have cleaned it up with the concealer, but I just decided to clean up the arch a little bit, and it turned out perfect, just how I did want my arch, just like that. So now I'm just gonna go and clean it up a little bit. I don't like the edges, the beginning to look so squared off, so I am definitely gonna take my spoolie and just like lighten and soften up the edges, if you will, to kind of give it a more natural look, if you will. And then I go right into the next step. I'm going to get my concealer out, and I believe that for this video I used the color Toffee by LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I've already done one brow. So I'm just going to show you the steps that I took to get this clean look, this clean, I say fresh brow wax look. That's what I call it. So you also want to follow the natural shape, the natural, pattern of your eye, natural shape of your eyebrow. And you just want to go along with it. And you want to take your time, guys, on this part, because I feel like the brows is the most tedious. And brows frame your face. That is the first thing that people see. So you do want them to always look nice and groomed. So I'm just bringing down that concealer, because we're going to bring it all the way down to the eyelid. Just keep going over it till it get to the perfect shape that you like, or if you want to thin it out more, whatever your preference is. See, I'm going to slide it down. And I found recently that just kind of turning my flat concealer brush to the side is very easy. So I also do that to outline the top. I turn it to the side a little bit. You guys will see how I'm going to use it. Flatten it out and just go around and outline the brow. Yeah, see, I'm working it, getting it exactly how I want it. Like I said, I can spend about a good almost 10 minutes trying to get my brows together some days. When, you have hit and miss. Some days it's easy. I could just get it right on. And then some days my brows just don't want to act right, especially when they're not freshly arched. So always have a freshly arched or waxed eyebrow, so you can get through the process much quicker when it's cleaned up. So I'm taking that, what's left on the brush, just continue to go around it and blend in the concealer all around your eyebrow areas. So I'm going to take it, what's left on the brush, and I'm going to go like over the lids and go down my unibrow area, so it can all have the same skin tone, and so that it makes it looks a little more natural. Soften up my edges a little bit. And I'm going to take like a fluffy brush, and I'm going to blend all that in. And this is also good if you're just trying to not do eyeshadow and you just want that natural look. You want to blend everything in really well with the brush. Yes, baby, get it all the way in. All the way in. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to put foundation around the forehead, of course. So I'm highlighting my brow right now. This is something you can do before you do your shadow or not. This is just a nice illuminating, shimmering shadow from the Fenty Galaxy eyeshadow palette. And I love, love, love it. It's like a golden bronze shimmery color. Great to highlight your brow bone. So the palette I'm going to use today, I'm going to start to use, is called Beauty. I forgot. It's called something. I got it off of Amazon, and it is a cheap palette. But I kind of like lightweight in love with it because it has some nice colors. And has that nice transitional colors that I like. It have that nice brick color, some bronzy colors in there, and I just love it. So you guys will see how I'm building up my colors. I love to build it up to get that fade effect. Some people ask, like, how do you get that? Like, it's fading into it. It's not. Yes, you always want to build up your layers so that it can kind of fade into one another. You want the colors to flow. You don't want to just go from, you know, a harsh bold color. To me, I feel like you need to gradually build it up. So yes, that's what I like to do. Always, I like to always on every eye routine you see me do, I'm gonna always probably most likely use a transitional color, and that's just my preference. Next, I'm going to use this. Is not the brick color, but it's not their brick color. I'll say that their brick color in the palette is that darker one at the bottom, but this is sort of a brick color to me. No, it's not. It's a little brighter than, so I'm gonna say it's a reddish, pinkish undertone. But I'm gonna do a ombre color. So I want this deep reddish, pinkish color because I'm gonna go in with a brighter pink to try to get the ombre effect that I'm going for. This is a e.l.f. palette. I think it's Bright Eyes palette. It's an older palette, and I'm going to use the purple out of that because I just feel like purple is an amazing color to gradually go into the pinks that I'm trying to do. The pink hue. I feel like purple falls into that color, so I'm just winging that in the V area of my eye. That's what I call it. I'm going in with the purple so that can gradually go into the pink. So I'm taking the color that I use for my transitional, and I'm just kind of softening out the edges with that. So yeah, that's what you probably want to do. Same over here, going in with that purple in the V area and soften it out with the same transitional color as I did on my other eye. Yes, baby, blend, blend, blend. You have to blend for your life, okay? You don't want no one to see where it began and where it ended, okay? That is the key with makeup. So now I'm going to go back into that bright eye palette, and I'm going to use that bright pink. And this is to lighten it up. This hot pink is a matte color, and I actually used two of the pinks in there. The other pink has like an iridescent purple underlying color in it, so I thought that was good to kind of pop on top. You guys will see that. So it's like the purple is going to fade into the pinkish purple, and then that's going to fade into the white that I'm going to use. It's going to be so bomb if it turns out how I need it to. So at this point, I'm going to cut out the crease. I'm using a white liner because I am using white eyeshadow. So I'm going to cut the crease out how I need it. And this is just like a midway crease cut. I'm sorry, a midway cut. I'm not going to go all the way because I have the colors that I desire, but because I am going to use a white eyeshadow, I am using a white base, and this is just NYX white eyeshadow base. Take your times on this cutting out part because it is very tedious, and I almost always have something messed up or thrown off. So yes, definitely take your time on this part, and you know, so you can create the perfect look. That's what I say, makeup is work. So I'm going in with a white shadow from, I don't even know what palette it is. It is just something that I had from Macy's a long time ago. So I'm going to go in with that, and it is a matte white, and this is not the brush that I want to use. No, it is not getting the job done, so I'm going to choose another brush. Yes, a flatter eyeshadow brush. Do you guys know that sometimes a brush makes all the difference? Every eyeshadow brush does not pick up your pigments how you need it. So sometimes you just have to swap it out. And sometimes you can wet the brush, and that will also make the pigment pop a little more. But this is doing exactly what I needed to do. And I see now that I could have went over with this white a little more. But you guys are going to see what I was creating with the ombre effect. Yes, so I'm patting that in the white shadow. I'm going to do it on both my eyes and just build the white up until the color that you need it to get to. Because every white is not pigmented, and this isn't a super pigmented white, so I did have to continue to build it up. And I love though that it is matte, and it is like also setting the concealer, the cream concealer, not the concealer, the creamy eyeshadow base that I use. So it's kind of like setting that at the same time. And I know it's looking crazy, but just follow me. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to do this ombre effect. So what you will see me do is just keep trying to clean it up, that crease. You never want to go over the crease. But I'm going to take this pink. The pink, well, it's going to be, yeah, I think I need the pink. Creases take so much work. This is like a whole nother tax in my service. So with the little leftover color that I have from my brush, the pink that I did, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fade that color until the white. And this is going to give the pop and ombre effect that I am trying to accomplish. And this is my first time, guys, so please don't judge me. This is the first time trying this ombre look. But I hope you guys will try it out because I like ombre. And you can do this color with any color, just long as you fade what's left over into that white. So it's going to give me that gradually fade effect that I'm going for. Blend, 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 blend. Yes, ombre. And you can go over as much as you want to. This is, I really wanted that white to pop out. So that's as far as I went in. So using the Beauty Bakery gelato eyeliner gel, I'm just going in with my eyeliner brush, and I'm winging it, baby. Take it up as high as you want to. Cut it as high as you want to, as low as you want to. I didn't want nothing too dramatic, but not too subtle. With this eye, it had to stand out a little bit. So, yes. And take your time on this as well. Guys, I always say start with a little bit and then build up, because it is the worst to start with so much and have to take something off or redo it over. So this is what you guys are going to get from me today. I'm not going to spend too much time on this wing. What you see is what you get. And you can always go back later if you have like a liquid felt tip liner. Sometimes I always go over my liners with that just to emphasize it. I'm taking the same mattifying primer that I had by Sephora that I use for my brows, and I'm gonna just use it all over my face. It is the winter time and I need to kind of stay away from that, but that's what I still choose because it makes my makeup stay flawless. This is the Studio Fix Fluid by MAC in NC50. This is my go-to coverage that I like to use. It's the heavy coverage for me where I don't have to color correct all the blemishes on my face. So get it all over, get enough on there, and then I'm gonna go in with my flat foundation brush. It's a flat angle, foundation brush, and I'm stippling that thing all into that skin, honey. You want it to be like melted in. You want it to be like butter, okay? So continue to just stipple it in. Stipple, 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 and blend it all over with your brush. You can also go in with the beauty blender if you need to. This is Tarte Shape Tape in Deep. This is my go-to. I love because it dries absolutely matte. I love it. Completely go-to. I can't use nothing else. I try other stuff. Sometimes I use my LA Pro Girl and Fine or Toffee, but I absolutely love this. It has great coverage and it dries matte. Love it. And I hear they're supposed to be working on a Shape Tape foundation. With my wet beauty blender, not wet, a damp one, you want to be able to make sure that you blend that in really good. So never use a dry one because it's just going to have a smeared effect. But when it's wet, it kind of keep it hydrated and allows the product to blend in and melt into your skin how it needs to. And this is a Real Techniques beauty blender, and it works just as well as the original beauty blender. It is very soft, where you can, like manipulate it how you need to, and you can just really squeeze it. Not those knockoff brands where you can't manipulate it. You can't squeeze it. It's hard to blend with. This is like perfect. And it has an end on it where you can contour, blend out your base, and I forget what the other part is, but it was like 3 different things. And guys, please bear with me. I am recording from my iPhone. I purchased a Nikon 3400, and I don't think it has a camcorder on it. I know I probably should have checked all that out, but I didn't. And it is bought, and I have to wait to sell it, or I don't know. But I know I need a new camera. This is Max NC55, and this is the Pro Concealer by MAC in NC55. This used to be their darkest shade, I believe, but I believe they have something deeper now. This is NC55, and this is what I'm using to contour with. I know you think it doesn't look too darker than my shade, but it's gonna work. I never like my makeup to look too dramatic. I always go for a bold eye and a bold lip, but when it comes to my foundation and my face, I want it to kind of look as natural as possible. Going in with my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm doing like dime size strokes, circles, and I'm blending it upwards along my cheek. You want to go upwards and not down. You want to bring that contour upwards, and you could just use it around the nose if you can. If not, use a beauty blender. This is my holy grail. Now, this is finishing powder Deluxe Powder by Black Opal in the color 4 Dark. And this is my all over powder, and it just blends everything in together. So if something looks too dark or too light and washed out, this brings the color right back in, and it has like a little shimmer in it, I believe. So it just gives you a flawless finishing look. As it says, it's a finishing powder, but I absolutely love it, and I don't do my makeup without it anymore. I'm taking my Sasha Buttercup setting powder in the color Buttercup. This is not light Buttercup. This is actually Buttercup. And I'm showing you the areas that I bake. I'm not a big fan of baking my forehead so much. Like I said, I don't like a washed out look or a flashback that you can get from different setting powders. Go along there, the chin area, and you see I'm only using what's on there. I'm not gonna get, and I dang near blend it out in the beginning. Also along my cheek, I don't like to take more, just whatever I have on the blender. So while I'm baking, I'm going to get into these lashes. Always put your mascara on before you put your lash. Just because if you have any powders or any shadow residue, this mascara will clean it up, and then you can put on your lash and you won't see any of that fall out in your lash. Now I'm going to blend that in. I don't let it bake as long anymore because I don't like the ashy look. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and blend that in. This is actually, my foundation brush that I'm going in with, I believe. And this just helped even out that flashback. So whatever was left on that brush goes in. This is the Ebony Bronzer by CoverGirl Queen Collection. And this is me emphasizing my contour. So everywhere that I contour, I'm going back over with this bronzer powder to set it and to emphasize it and just make it pop a little more. I also use a darker highlighted powder from, I forgot what company it was, from Amazon, but I went in with that, and I'm starting that darker like at the beginning part, and I wanted to fade out a little lighter, so I went a little heavier on the beginning of the contour to make it pop a little more. And whatever was left, I put it down my nose, on my forehead. And this is just going to make it pop more. And this is the liquid fluid. This is Urban Decay's Naked fluid, illuminating fluid. I'm sorry. I almost forgot the name of it. But yes, Urban Decay Naked Illuminating Fluid. And I'm going to warm that up with my finger and blend it in. I'm still a believer that your finger is like one of the best makeup tools. Makeup blender. So, use my finger to warm it up and activate it and blend it in. Come through highlight. I love it because it gives you a nice and natural highlight when you don't want to go too deep in. But I'm going deep in, and I'm going to go in with one of my highlighters by NYX Illuminator. It's an illuminator. It's a powder, and it's in BB01, the color BB01. So, you see my baby was messing with me this whole tutorial. And this is the NYX, and I'm going in with this slanted, I know it's a slanted eyeshadow brush, but I never use it for eyeshadow. So I'm just using it for a highlighter brush, a bronzer brush, whatever you want to call it, because you can use your brushes and any of your makeup products for more things than what you need to. Like I'm going to go in with this from an eyeshadow color from the Fenty Galaxy palette, and I'm going to make that highlight pop a little more. It's a shadow, but I'm going to use it for a highlighter, and you guys know it's popping, okay? So this is my MAC blush, Sweet as Cocoa. This is my go-to that I always use. So you want to blend that blush right into your contour. Start at the opals of your cheek and blend it into your contour. I always use a blush. So I'm going to take this brown liner to outline my lip. I always like to outline my lips. I just feel like it gives me a better outline of how to stay within the line. So I always like to do that and just blend it in so you don't have that 92 look liner, deep black dark liner. And I'm going to use, what color do I want to use? Okay, so I'm going to choose to use a matte liquid by Wet n Wild. I got this from CVS, and it was a nice color, and it's a really good matte. Like, it goes on velvety, and it dries very well, and it's the last long, and it's Wet n Wild. At the time, it was about probably $2.47. They have raised the prices a little bit, but it's Color Icon. And this is my MAC lippie. I'm sorry. I did forget the color, but I am going to have it in the link below so you guys can know all the products that I use. Now, this is the pencil by Wet n Wild. No, I'm sorry, LA Girl. I'm going to have the color for that, but I'm going in to emphasize this ombre. So where the pink kind of washed it out a little bit, I'm fading that fuchsia color back into it. And there you have it with this lippie. Now it's time to get into these eyes. I'm using a liner. I think I got this out of a kit from Ulta, but it's a nice deep black like coal kind of eyeliner, and I'm gonna go in with that first, but I'm going to get into a white gel liner, and it is by Beauty Bakery. Nope, I think I went ahead of myself. I'm going to take that fuchsia liner that I use for my lip, and I'm going to outline the black and sort of blend that in a little bit just to make sure that it just fade out a little bit. I think we're going to smooth out the black with this fuchsia color. And it goes on really smooth. It's a lip liner, but like I said, I make my dollars work, okay? I'm not going to just be buying all this makeup, spending all my coins on this makeup because I am absolutely in love with it. But I'm not going to just use it for one thing. You have to make it work for you. So this is a lip liner, and I am using it as an eyeliner. And that's okay. So you can get a brush and you can soften up the edges with that if you like to. Yeah, I think that works for me. So now I'm going in with the gel liner by Beauty Bakery in Milk. And I'm just taking a flat, small brush going along the line, and I am going to build it up. It's creamy, and you have to be careful with it when you're trying to stay in the line and not get it so much into your black liner or onto your bottom lashes. So it's getting on my eyelash a little bit, but we can work that out. So to make these lashes even more dramatic, I'm going in with my Tarteist lash paint by Tarte in the color black. And I love this. I love it. It's vegan, so it's free of all that harmful stuff. This is Urban Decay's All Nighter Primer setting spray that I spray all over, and this is the look. Tell me what you guys think. Leave me some feedback. Check out my photos of this finished look on my IG at j.rooks_MUA. Thank you, dolls, for watching. Here's a little clip from me and my baby doll.